Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala syarfil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah. In the previous video, I've explained to you how we can develop through the shaping process by conditioning ourselves. For example, I gave you the example of my example, how I came from a very poor family, of how my love and interest in reading and seeking knowledge was somehow developed by my mother, my late mother, Alhamdulillah, may Allah be pleased with her and give her the best of Jannah, that she's able to draw my potential towards seeking knowledge and reading by doing, for example, giving love and then having clear examples of how we can be interested in reading by showing pictures from magazine, and then how I was introduced to school library and then the National Library, and then how we are developing the idea of the trigger, the mental trigger that gives you this vision, the mission, that knowledge will be a way out towards this beautiful world, because this is the life of a human being. So that is shaping of individual. Two examples I've given you, Aiman in terms of cleaning, and my personal journey of life from a poor kid, how I developed the interest and the love for seeking knowledge by the shaping process of what my mother did. And when she did that, it became a trigger. So now, even now, when I think about my younger days, I still remember those days when I was on her lap, all right, and she is showing me the pictures. That is my mental trigger. So whenever that I come across laziness in terms of reading or seeking knowledge, I see that mental trigger. So that mental trigger will last until you die, because these are experiential triggers. So that's why when you have mental triggers, positive mental triggers like the one that I've shown you, it is bonded in your conscious, subconscious mind. It is there, you know. So whenever I think about reading and learning, I see that picture of me sitting on my mother's lap and she is showing me the pictures, you know. And it's such a wonderful experience, because then you remember the love of your mother, her sacrifices, and what she has done to make you a successful person. All right. So shaping also takes place in terms of community and society. So there I'm giving you an example of community and society, and also from my personal experience, because I have been fortunate enough to work for multinational, and I was sent all over the world. I even worked in Latin America. So I was sent to Japan, all right, Oita, Japan, where I have training and work and studied the Japanese way of life and Japanese method of manufacturing. And it's so wonderful. It is a life-changing experience. When I go to Japan, I see those people. What do I see? I see Islam there, beautifully practiced, but I see no Muslims. Because they are so gentle people, full of adab, very, very, courteous, virtuous. All right? I saw Islam there in their practice, and they are very clean. And how this is being shaped? It is being shaped the moment you are born as a Japanese, you know how to clean. So even, for example, if I visit the temples, the slippers that are arranged, or the shoes that are arranged in the temple, they have a box, it's arranged so nicely, or it's in front, nobody will tell them. But they don't, just like if we go to the mosque, you just flitter any slippers anyhow. There they arrange it. Individual do it, and you can see nice lines. I was shocked. And you go to their toilets, it's so clean, shining, and beautiful. So what was that values that shaped the Japanese people? That means we are talking about community in Japan, and Japan is the cleanest place on earth now. All right, and now they are working hard to develop, for example, a lot of programs in terms of separation of waste, which they have implemented, recycling, the 3R, and so on. So these are the things they are doing. So what did I learn in Japan? I learned how they shape the Japanese people. All right, one example I can give you, which I learned, is the Japanese have what they call the 5S cleaning steps. Everything that you do is always 5S. So you ask any Japanese, whether it's a schoolboy, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a manufacturing manager, they know. They have this 5S in doing anything for cleaning. And it also can apply 5S for your life philosophy. All right? So it's a very good idea. So how do they start? they have the 5S is Seri, Seton, Seiso, Setketsu, and Shetsuke. All right. So Seri, Seton, Seiso, Setketsu, Shetsuke. So these are the 5 steps. You start with Seri, yeah. All right. You start with Seri, then you go to, and then you go up. All right. So basically, this is your baseline. This is when you're untidy, dirty, and do not know anything. So what do you do? For example, if your house is dirty, untidy, and you teach your children, they have now charts of this 5S method which you can buy, and then you can clip it on the wall and show your child how it is being done. So the first thing is the motivation is always there. And remember, each time you do each step, there's always incentive. That's why when you do it in a manufacturing plant, they have this 5S committee. After you finish one level, they'll give you a treat or something like that, and you go to the next level, and next level, and then until the whole factory floor becomes beautiful, all the arrangement, the inventory, the work in progress, and all arranged nicely. All right. So first is to sort out. So we have to sort out our room. What do we want and what we do not want? There are a lot of junk. For example, you never clean our room for 50 years. There are people like that. So it's a lot of junk. So you got to sort out. There's a lot of junk accumulated over 50 years, or even 1 year, or 2 years, or 3 years. But for this to become part and parcel of your life, it is a daily or weekly event. So you sort out what you need, throw away what you don't need. All right, arrange what you need in a proper place. Okay, so that's sort. Then you set everything in order. So second step after you sort, you have to remove all those garbage and all those that is not good or damaged things. You go set in order. So which are the things to be placed in the right place? For example, your clothes must be in the cupboard, not on the floor, and so on. So you set in order. So the second step is, first is Seri, second step is Seton, that is to set in order. The third step is shine. You clean. That means if the table is dusty, you mop and clean. The floor is dusty, you mop and clean. So shine. Cleaning. You clean and clean. Because this is also S. Sort, set, in order, shine, standardize. Okay? And develop it. Sustain. Alright? So basically, the 5 steps here, shine means you clean up everything. So constantly start with sort, set in order, shine, and then you standardize. What kind of room you want to have? Where should be your television set? Where should be your books? Where should be your shelves? Where should everything? All right, you standardize and make sure that is the mental picture of a beautiful place you want to have, say for your bedroom or your house or your living room or your factory or whatever it is. And then the last one is to sustain. This is most important, that is to sustain. After you standardize, you have to sustain, because if not, everything will deteriorate. So each step, this is the shaping process that is imbued into every Japanese child, man, woman, adult, factory managers, and so on. So they have this mental picture of 5S. So you ask any Japanese, they would know, oh, this is 5S. Seri, Seton, Seko, Seri, Seton, Seiso, Setsuke, Shitsuke. Seiketsu and Shitsuke. 5. This is Japanese word, and we have translated into English. Sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. So these are the process from baseline, a dirty, untidy room or factory, to a shining, beautiful, happy, clean workplace. All right. So when I learned this method, I came back to Malaysia and I became a consultant for 5S method, and I was so popular. I make a lot of money by training factories, especially Japanese factories. They want me to speak in the local language, the Bahasa. So I go to Japanese factories and give them training in 5S. And it was so wonderful. So we can bring the same idea of cleanliness of the Japanese and imbue it in Malaysian. And Malaysians, we are not so tidy people, because a bit backward. But then when they learn how to do that, then they can apply it in their home. So for example, like in Khalifa Model School, we apply 5S. So all our shoes, if you go to our school, are arranged in racks nicely. The children are taught to be clean. All right. So in our primary school and in our secondary school, we have this 5S built into our way of life. Imagine if every mosque in the world practice this, where we have our clean, nice place of worship. We have a clean, nice toilets, beautiful place where everything is sorted out, everything is set in order, everything is shine and clean, everything is standardized, everything is sustained. then we can have a wonderful ummah. An ummah that is clean, that is achieving, that is giving good values, because Allah loves those who keep clean. Mutatahirin, Allah loves those who keep themselves clean. This is repeated many times in the Quran. That is a message and exhortation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Muslims. But we have these Japanese people who is far ahead of us in terms of keeping clean, physical cleanliness, in terms of their courtesy, adab, and so many positive values of the Japanese people that we can learn. All right, even though in a sense, as I say, I saw Islam there, but I see no Muslims. But we have to learn from other communities, and this whole shaping process, as I told you, is whether it is classical conditioning, operant conditioning, the whole conditioning process is shaping is very important, from the animal level to the individual level, human individual level, to the community level. So this is an example of my personal experience in Japan, of what I learned and how this shaping process shaped the Japanese people to be among the cleanest people in the world. You go to their transport centers, you go to their roads, you go to their shopping complexes, you go everywhere. And even if you walk and you take a piece of rubbish and you throw on the ground, a child behind you will then take along, pick the rubbish, and tell you in Japanese, no. Then that child will bring that rubbish and put it in a dustbin to show you. You see, imagine a child can show. So a lot of foreigners were shocked when they saw that. A Japanese child will take that rubbish and take you along and tell you there is a dustbin there. You better throw into that dustbin. Do we do that in our own country? In Malaysia, we have these super rich people. They have these local fruits. What they do in the car, the children will having their fruits, wind down the window and throw out the road. What kind of culture is that? All right, so we have to change. And these are Muslims, They have the nice, beautiful Hajj skull cap driving there, and their children are playing around. And what they do is wind down the window, throwing the fruits of the rambutans or the bananas out into the highway. And that is terrible. All right, so these are the cognitive dissonance within the ummah that we have to change. That to change, we must have this shaping process. So once you understand the shaping process, then you can understand how we can do it. And this is a way of positive shaping process. In the next video, inshallah, I'll show you what are negative shaping processes that is affecting the ummah and the world, especially at the global level. And then inshallah, then you understand this nature of loss of learning that you can apply directly in your life to become an achiever in life, to become the Caliph of Allah on this earth. Always remember our duty is to be the custodian of Allah, the Caliph, striving to make ourselves good, helping others to be good, making the world good for all the creatures of Allah, inshallah.